Alright guys, I know I said that I would be doing a full review of Everfree Northwest when the con is over on Monday, but, well actually I didn't say that, but I am saying that now. I will do a full review on that, but I did want to do a mini review, I guess. It's sort of like, here's what's been going on so far. This is going to be day 1, part 1, because the rest of the day it's going to be, you know, starting at 7 p.m. Eastern, and then at 10 p.m. it's going to be Brony Palooza and stuff. So, I have an entire list worth of stuff here. So, basically Everfree Northwest, it's happening from today to Sunday, that is July 5th through the 7th. It is right now in Seattle, Washington, and there's a ton of people there. From the voice actor and writer point of view, we've already confirmed we have Michelle Krieber, Peter New, Andrew Francis, and Amy King Rogers. Those 4 were basically announced at the beginning, along with Andrea Libman, who was there only because Tabitha St. Germain could not be there. So, Apple Bloom, Big Mac, Shining Armor, and Pinkie Pie and Fluttershy are there. And Pinkie Pie and Fluttershy are only there because Rarity could not make it. She's sick, so thoughts go out to her. So sorry about that in the background. And we had a few more people making appearances there. We have it's kicking it off really with the main guy who does all this, Royal something, who's like head of security, I guess, and con chairman, maybe. Opening up the opening ceremonies is him, along with Dusty Cat and Mike the Microphone. They actually were there, and they sang Winter Wrap Up, and they had a girl come up, and they all sang Smile together. It's amazing. It's just spectacular. We also have word that Acoustic Brony and Living Tombstone are there. They'll be performing tonight. Michelle's friend, Nolly Shep is there. We also have the guys from Friendship is Witchcraft, Sipsy and Raven, Zachary Rich. We have a few more people: Pico Pie, Silver Quill, Couch Crusader, and author of Past Sins, Penstrokes. Now, what kind of activities are they doing right now? Oh, and they also had a word from RB-47. So basically some authors are there. There's a lot of people there. So what has actually been occurring so far? Well, they did announce some stuff like this whole Dear Princess thing, and Royal whatever his name is got crowned as Prince or something, and he got a sash and a crown. They actually did a lot of stuff. There was a cosplay quote-unquote event, really, that happened on stage at the beginning. And basically what it was is these guys were dressed up as the main 6 and Spike. By the way, Rainbow Dash was a boy, so, I mean, he did good, but I don't know. Anyway, but he is doing good. He's doing alright. He's doing a fine job. I had to give props to him. But yeah, anyway, so they basically, what they did was they brought 3 kids on stage and basically turned them into alicorns, and they would later be known as the Royal Court, which is basically sort of like a judge thing. So literally, kids who are now wearing like sashes and horns and wings, they're basically being like alicorn princes and princesses, because there is at least one guy up there. Alicorn prince and princesses, and it's just amazing that they're doing all that. What else they got going on there? So they had the opening ceremony, and then after the opening ceremony, they had Meet the Writer, which is basically the Amy Keating Rogers big panel. And Amy basically did a lot of stuff on stage, and we got a few stuff in here. And she did announce that she's doing something for BronyCon, which is in 4 weeks. 4 weeks, people. So that's gonna be big. And then she's got like this dashboard lizard that someone said was like gummy. It's sort of weird, but And here's one thing that I wanted to put through your minds right now. Someone asked Amy a question that if she could change anything, or add something or detract something from any of her episodes, what would it be? And basically, it was the scene, the scene that we never saw in the last roundup. And that's basically, we came into the last roundup, of course, knowing, this is an Applejack episode, but then Derpy shows up and steals her thunder. But apparently, there was supposed to be an extra scene. Apparently, the reason that, the town square was in such horror, and Dash basically says, you don't want to cause more damage than you've already done, or something like that. The reason was that Derpy and Dash were actually bucking bolts out of clouds, and apparently Derpy got too close to the building and thus destroyed it. So apparently Amy does have a little bit of a story behind that. And I think someone actually said it. Literally, I heard that Derpy Hooves is back, and everyone goes crazy. And also, she was there with her daughter, and they had this amazing... I think it was their daughter. I think it was her daughter. I think she might have said it was her daughter. I forgot her name. But she came up there, but her daughter came up there with her, and they did a duet on ukulele in front of everyone, singing the theme to My Little Pony that she came up with when Lauren said, hey, can you do the theme for the show? And she's like, alright. And basically, it's a very amazing song. And if you've heard the song Margaritaville, na 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 na. If you've heard that song before, it's basically the same thing, but ponified. It's basically a ponified version of that put into the theme song. Also, side note, someone came up there and said, like, are there graveyards or are there just a bunch of glue factories? Because A, we do know that, ponies can die, and B, they do use glue on the show. So, of course, that was a little too much PG-13, I guess, and the question was not really answered, so we'll never know. Yeah, apparently Megan McCarthy, who is also a writer, and then came on and said, make sure you don't talk about blank, and it was like this big thing, and actually, you know what, I can't say that, because Amy made the entire audience Pinkie Pie swear that they would not spill the secret about Season 4. Now, I know it was a joke, but let's just say that that pony has something to do with looking like a certain main character at the show who now has a certain boyfriend. Let's just keep it at that and not actually talk about it, because I had to be Pinkie Pie promise into this, like keeping it a secret. But if you watch the Meet the Writer panel on Everfree Everfree Radio's channel here on YouTube, then you'll basically know what I mean. So then after that they had Pinkie Pie's Party Hour, which is basically an hour of games played between Andrew Libman and Peter New. Get this whole scoring thing, and yeah, they played. They had a thumb wrestle, which Peter won just for fun, and then they actually got down to the real games. They played Jenga. They had a scenario thing. They played Joomba. They played Operation, Hungry Hippos, and Boggle. Now, of course, Peter won the first two events. Like, the Jenga one was the longest one. If you want to see, like, a really, really thought out and very, very, very long game of Jenga, watch this. I will also be putting up Instagram photos. I will also be putting up photos on Instagram and stuff, showing what were the funniest moments of, not only the convention, but, like, of that moment. Via the live stream. I will be getting screen caps on the iPod, basically. So how the games basically go? thumb wrestle and the Jenga game, of course, I said Peter won. And then there was the scenario game where they had to come up with, like, a pony who would fit the scenario well. So, like, first one, clear the sky. Rainbow Dash is sick. Who does it? And it's Peter goes for Celestia, and Andrea goes for Derpy. Audience goes bonkers. Oh, and by the way, Amy King Rogers, she also got a request to do a song, and the entire audience exploded. Of course, it's Pink Fluffy Unicorns Dancing on Rainbows. I don't know the song name, but I think that's the entire song name. And it was just, she just does the first verse, like, Pink Fluffy Unicorns Dancing on Rainbows. She doesn't even get done with that, and everyone's just like, well, she does like the stuff on ukulele, and they're like, oh, this is a cool song. Then she actually gets the worst thing. It's like, oh, she's starting it off, and then it's like, and then everything just goes bonkers. It's like, what? Everything goes, and it's like, ah! Anyway, so, and then, so yeah, scenario game, and it's like, Celestia versus Derpy. Blue Sky. Everyone goes for Derpy, but the real judges here are actually, the Royal Court guys, and they said Celestia. The next one was, the line for getting a badge was long, and it's like, don't remind us. I'm like, what? Of course, Rainbow Dash and Spike were actually hosting that, the cosplayers from earlier, and I think Twilight was there to talk to the judges, really. And of course, the question was, okay, who would give you the most company for waiting for the badge? The most company for waiting for the badge. And between Pinky and Fluttershy, Andrew's choice of Pinky was thumbed up. And the final question was, okay, so the auction booths get destroyed and it's Derpy's fault. Who fixes them? Dash or Twilight? Now, Peter New almost went back on it and said, I changed my mind on Rainbow Dash, go with Big Mac, but too late, Andrew and Twilight won. Then they try to play Jumba, but because of camera quality on the screen, they're like, can you guys see this? And they're like, no. So, yeah, they kind of got bored of that, and it was just not fun anymore. Then they played Operation. I don't know who won exactly, but you guys can go back on the video and just watch it over again and actually see who won. Then we have the Hungry Hungry Hippos game, which is basically like, oh, this is going to be fun. I'm going to love this. They start whacking away, like... They start whacking away on the game, just like both sides whacking away, and then Peter just takes it and boom, he just like destroys the entire thing, and they just fly, push it off, get all the balls, all the equipment, get it off. Like no. So because they have 5 minutes left, then they had to do Boggle, but at the end of the 5 minutes, Dusty Cat and some guy and someone cosplaying a full-on bodysuit of Applejack just interrupting from time to time. And then, like, Spike and Dash are just throwing balls in the audience. Something happens with Dash. I'm not sure if he got a hug or something. But Spike, he throws a ball. He's just throwing balls all over the place. Then someone yells something about bags and stuff. And apparently, Spike actually, when he threw a ball toward that person, it landed perfectly in the bag. So... And Dash is like, give yourself 50 points, and it's like, yeah! The entire audience just goes, So, but yeah, that's like part 1. We got, up next is the From Storyboard to Writing panel, so I'm guessing the writers and the storyboard artists, so Sipsy and Raven are coming up next, guys, and, yeah, hopefully there's a good, look at this, I mean, oh, and by the way, keep going, flutter on, and oh, look a moose. We're just, we're set. So look at all this stuff. I mean, seriously, look at all that. Everything. That was only for like the first few hours or so, from like the first 5 hours. That's it. Can't wait to see what the next 3 have in store for us. Anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Make sure you let me know what you guys thought of this convention in the comments below. But I will be back for part 2, so stay tuned. Yeah. This has been Everfree Northwest live update number 1, so 2013, yeah. So see you guys for part 2.